All right, we are back for our second segment. DJ Inspecta will be joining us shortly. We're going to continue on this whole situationships. As you can tell from the last segment, that word kind of just frustrates the hell out of me. That word is just annoying. Like, to me, it's just like, do you want to eat at a high-end restaurant or do you want to go eat fast food? You know what I'm saying? Like, situationships is more on like a fast food level, and I don't like to do all those things. Hey, Miss TJ, thank you so much for being here. We're getting ready to start the second segment now. Thank you, Miss TJ. I had to switch it up. I had to get fine on it for Virgo season. You heard me? I'm on my Master P. Make them sing.
God, make me sick. Damn, Virgos make me sick. Damn it.
We're just so special. We're just so special.
Indeed. Y'all are truly special indeed.
Okay. I'm sorry, but situationships.
Yeah. All right. So with the situationships.
Yes. I feel like it's petty. I feel like that's a petty title. It's a petty whole setup. And people just stop wasting your time with some situationships. Okay. Now, if you're just effing, just say, okay, no, we don't have nothing going on. We just effing. But why be with someone and then there's no specific title on it? I feel like that's just a setup for someone's feelings to get hurt or someone to be deceived and someone to get played.
Well, with the situationships, I mean, they basically come about when
someone's unsure about committing. Someone's unsure about committing.
A lot of times they come because of settlement. Because a lot of times you end up in those because you can't get the person exactly to the full extent that you want them. So it's like, okay, well, I'll just take a little bit, then nothing.
And then just wait around like a thirsty puppy dog, waiting to see if that little bit's gonna turn into a lot of bit. And then you get mad and disappointed because a lot of bit never happened and you just stayed with a little bit. See, that's why that whole thing just irks me. Like, I do not like situationships, but I don't knock people that, hey, y'all want to be in a situationship, y'all go ahead and just situation on and be proud. But not me, honey. That ain't my cup of tea. Yeah. Author TJ Hope says, when just effing, somebody's still gonna catch feelings. Exactly. Yes, they will.
Of course.
They definitely will. I can't stand when people say, oh no, I won't catch feelings, or that we agreed we're not gonna catch feelings. God damn it, someone gonna catch feelings, especially if that's your
all right. So I think it's good. I think it's a good practice with whatever you got going on. Check in. Check in. I think that will save you a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? Check in. Because even if you got a situation where it's a situationship, if you check in, you check in to make sure that it's still a situationship. You can navigate as you check in. You know what I'm saying? Because things change. Feelings.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's something that you should do just period. You know what I'm saying? In a full out relationship and everything like that, check in. Like, ask the motherfucker, hey motherfucker, are you happy? Hey, all right? You good? Now going good? Yeah? You like the flowers them the other day? Yeah? You like it? All right, cool. You know, like check in. Why not?
Yeah.
And that's just part of communicating. You know what I'm saying? Check in.
Erica Soglit says some people settle because they hope they They changed their ... What y'all just said is called breadcrumbing. Well, good thing I don't eat no damn bread. Erica says the term is called breadcrumbing when you string someone along like that. They just take what they can get, hoping the person sees them and wants to give them more. And Miss TJ Hope says, good advice, DJ. Yes, that's beautiful advice. But this breadcrumbing and situation, I don't like it. I don't like it too much.
It's you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. Like,
Wait, hold on. Aileen says. Aileen says, "Hey boo, we effed yesterday, so I'm checking in today to see if we still effing or we moving forward."
there you go. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Nothing wrong with that. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Wait a minute, Aileen, are you a Virgo by chance?
That's all you got to do. But for real, that's all you got to do. Just like that. I said, like, hey, yesterday we did some wild stuff and it was great. You know what I'm saying? Just, hey, you ain't over there falling in love, are you? Oh, you are a little bit? All right, well, guess what? I'm going to see you in like 2 weeks. I know we usually meet up every Wednesday, but we're going to skip a Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Keep things on track, all right? All right? Just hold it down. You know, we're going to skip a week. You know what I'm saying?
That was hilarious. Erica Soglit says, I meant to say change their minds. We got you. Aileen's a Taurus. Okay. Taurus is basically the personalities are very similar to Virgo. Tauruses can just be a little bit uppity when they get ready to be, that's all. But that's not a bad thing, you know. It's not a bad thing. As long as you don't abuse it, it's all good. Miss TJ Hope is laughing out loud. Huh?
Taurus the bull, stubborn.
Yes, bull. Yes.
Taurus the bull.
But Aileen says, nah, for real. Checking in. For real. Like, come on. Why do people do that to themselves? Put themselves in in that situation where they have to, you know, where you have to just wonder, okay, is this gonna go anywhere or is it not?
Well, you gotta remember too. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's also that situation where both parties go in talking tough, that they can handle it, and that it's gonna stay this, and that it's gonna whatever.
And someone ends up not being able to handle it.
Changes, and then it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
just keep it real with each other. Just have good communication. Communication is the key. It really is the key.
Yeah, that really is the key. And you know, find out, because here's the thing too, because there's the other side of it too. There's the other side of it, because you can also have it where one person, the feelings change, but they don't say nothing to the other person, when the whole time the other person wanted it to be the same way, so they could have actually went ahead and actually been together, but you know, the communication was off, so that message never was received, and then it never happened, and then it mashed up, and it was like, oh, it mashed up because you never wanted to actually go any further. And then it's like, nah, I did want it to go any further, but I just didn't want to say nothing because I thought you was going to get mad if I said it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
You know, just communicate.
Yes, communication is definitely the key. Communication is everything. Okay. So, let's see. You ready to go on to our next topic?
Well,
childhood trauma.
Okay.
Why is that a necessary evil? Why is childhood trauma just a part of life for some, unfortunately?
Man,
make that make sense. Wait, before we go into it, Aileen says communication. Yes, for real though. We all know when we getting played, and we all know when we catch feelings and should not. We just refuse to make it make sense. There you go. I think Aileen just made sense for us on that.
All right. Yep. Yep.
Period.
Yep.
So back to childhood traumas. Why is that? Why is it just a part of life for some unfortunate children who turn into adults and then still carry that trauma with them?
Well, I mean, it's just like every other thing in life. If you don't address it, if you don't identify it, if you don't put forth effort to fix it or anything like that, then it's just going to stay there and
Fester.
yeah.
I just don't understand the parents out there that sometimes treat their children, and I'm not talking about like little children, just it's basically children no matter the age. I call a grown man who's a son, someone's their child, right? Um, I just don't understand some parents who just kind of like view their children like they're just regular people on the street. Like their feelings don't matter, or they look at their own child as competition, or they look at their own child as someone to be jealous of, or
I
not
don't know
support them, or
what to say.
maybe that child. Huh?
Ah, I don't even know. I don't even. That's one of those things that my brain don't even. I can't even like. Like how. Like, I don't know. that.
Well, I've there's so many women out there that have been molested, and those same women that have been molested, um, from what I've always heard, they get treated like, when the family finds out and realizes, it's almost like the family don't want to believe it. It's not true. Oh no, it's not true. That could never happen. Oh, she's lying. Oh, she's making it up. Oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. Why? Like, why
Well,
do why do families do that to
because
children?
of the guilt, because of the guilt and the shame and the embarrassment. That's why.
I don't
Uh,
know. My children are like my, let me tell you, times get rough, with because they're so young, and they're, the whole temper tantrums and all that. It gets rough sometimes, but
yeah,
I could never, ever, ever just shun away my children, no matter what. Even if they did something so wrong, I'm still their mom, and it is still my duty to be right there by their side, even if it means being right by their side and telling them, you know what, you fucked up. That wasn't right. But
yeah.
it doesn't mean that I just push them away and act like, oh, I don't ever want to speak to you ever again. I'm done. You
I
don't
don't.
exist.
I don't like. I just. Me personally, like I'm the same, and like I don't really like. I just. I really have never thought about like me and my children getting to a point like that.
Mm,
Like I've literally never thought about like me having to be that dad that has to be like, oh well, if you don't want to do what I say, you gotta get out of my house and rah, 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 rah. I've literally never thought about it being like that. Um, and for me, it's like my mind is set up that until the day I die,
mm-hmm.
my kids are supposed to be able to come to me and
Yes,
get stuff from me if they need it.
absolutely.
Even like it like I don't know, like my son could be 50. And if he comes and he's like, yo, dad, I need 10 grand to I want to start this or do this. And he like comes and he shows me and he says, bop, bop, look, see here, look, this is what I want to do. This is the plan. This is the bop, this is the thing. I got it on paper. Like bop, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I look at it and I'm like, bop, oh, okay, bop, yeah, all right, you here. I don't know, like that's for me, like that's how I think. I don't know, like I don't know. That's my when it come on, like my thing is like it don't matter. Like I'm just always supposed to be like anything
Yes.
they need as long as I can give it to them. It don't
Right.
matter how old they get. It don't matter what I'm supposed to be able to give it to them. Um, like when even and I'm not like even if them fuck up, like if you put the if you put 9 on a high speed chase and you make it to the crib, I'm gonna stash you in the house, and I'm gonna conk you upside your head, but I'm gonna hide you out. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yes,
gonna be the one. I'm gonna be
absolutely.
the one conking you upside your head, but I'm gonna hide you
Exactly.
out. You know, like I'm gonna ride for you and hide you out, but I'm gonna conk you upside your head. Like,
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
and I'm sorry. Like that's I don't know. I'm a kid's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Miss
I just,
TJ says, Miss TJ says, some of us never talk it out or get it out, so it remains. And yes, I've never understood that. I can't blame that shit on childhood issues. I don't know what that is.
yeah.
Then she also mentioned unconditional love. Unconditional love is everything. And you know what I've noticed too with children? Children give very unconditional love. Because you could be mad at your child 1 minute, take away everything, put them on punishment, and then the next 5 minutes they still running to you to give you a hug and a kiss.
Yeah.
That's very unconditional. So I just don't know. Like I've heard so many stories, of parents just not being what the hell they should be, and I find myself always thinking about it. I'm like, just make this make sense. Like a parent is supposed to be a good freaking parent. No, I mean not perfect. Nobody's a
Yeah.
perfect parent, but you're supposed to do right by your child. You're not supposed to treat your child like they don't matter or they don't
And I
exist.
think I think the ultimate and with exactly what you said, that translate into, you know, showing them that you love them and giving
Mm,
them love. You know what I'm saying? It's
mm-hmm.
not to say that like, yo, like you got to buy them a bunch of toys and you got to give them all this PlayStation. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But, you know, if you can give them the love, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's supposed to be numero uno. And
Definitely.
that's what it is.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for any future parents, and we'll pray for y'all that
And even
just
that,
just be a
like,
good parent.
here's the
Do
thing.
right by your child.
Here's the thing. You got to think about it. Something like that would stem from the parents' childhood
Mm,
trauma that they never.
yes. Yes. So
Okay.
how do you think how do you think those kinds of cycles can be broken?
Um, the only way, well, the only way to
Therapy?
the only way to break the cycle is for somebody to step up and break the cycle.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Um, sometimes if you're the one who realizes these things, you see what I'm saying? If you're the one who sees that this is what's happened and this is what's going on, then you just gotta step up and you be the one to now school them, parent them, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
but what
And
if they but what if they don't even want to they don't want to hear you. They don't they despise you. They can't stand you because you're being everything that they wanted to be and couldn't. What do you do then?
here's the thing. The key thing is to make the effort.
Mm,
You be the bigger person and let it be known and let it be said that you tried. Because that's
mm-hmm,
all you got to do, you know. That's really all you got to do is you got to try. Now,
mm-hmm,
if you tried and the other person isn't trying also, then by all means, quote unquote, you're in the clear because you tried.
Yeah.
You made the effort. You tried. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to fix it. And not only that, but with doing that, don't be hard on yourself and don't be upset if the other person doesn't want to. Because that's not your fault.
Yeah.
That's not your fault. That's them.
And
If you put forth the positive, you came with the positive, you put forth the effort to try and fix, you put forth the effort to try and resolve, to try and identify, to do whatever it takes to rectify the situation, right?
yes.
You tried and they don't want to try, then you know what? At the end of the day, you can still walk away with your head up high because you know
You
that
tried.
You tried.
Yeah. You tried. Loyalty 34 says, "Let me, if you want me to break it down. If yes, connect." Okay, we might. Okay, so Spec, we might have to let Loyalty 34 preacher teacher jump on for a second and give preacher teacher. Aileen says, "Yep, generational curses, pain, and trauma." Yes, Loyalty 34. I would love to bring you on real quick and give your feedback. Do you mind, Specky?
Yeah, man, make it go on. All right.
Okay.
Let me talk real quick.
I am Sabina. Hey, I am Sabina. Loyalty 34. Go ahead and Specky's gonna take a little break. So come on in and send your requests to go live. Let's see here. Oh wait, I don't want to do no smiley face stuff now. Preacher teacher. Come bring it. Bring the knowledge for the people them. Blah, blah, blah. We getting into some deep stuff. I don't think we're gonna stick on this last topic that long, but it's really good for people to hear this. You know, if you've gone through issues with your family, and if your family don't want you, at least you tried. Preacher teacher, how are you?
Well, go ahead. Everything good?
Yes. How about you on your end?
Can't complain, huh?
That's great. So go ahead, give us break it down. Break it down, doctor.
Easy,
I know.
With all due respect still, and just to touch base, 1 second. Just to kind of touch base on the first topic. You guys were talking about situationship or whatever you want to call it.
Situationships, yes. Let's hear it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, that whole thing gets on my nerves. That whole idea of a situationship gets on my nerves.
Well, to say, I think that concept is being misunderstood.
Okay.
It's being misread and misunderstood simply because you have to understand. We talked about this last time I was live with you guys, right? And one of the main things we discussed was, it's not just, all right, there are 5 ways to get to Broadmoor. It's not just one way, right? Two things as it relates to that. The problem is what you like may not be what the other person like.
Very true.
You understand? You are a woman of quality and a woman of principle. So there are certain things you don't stand for, right? But there are people out there who unfortunately they have certain guards built up. And because of certain or prior experience. In psychology, that term is called a metacognition, using past experiences to interfere with future incoming. So when you find a person that has been hurt, especially in such, it happens in various ways, right? They make up their minds to them just not gonna mess with the emotional thing no more. So they'd rather just keep it straight physical. Because in their belief and their estimation, they believe that if I stay away from the emotional groans, it limits my exposure from being hurt.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So some people are okay with that. I think once both parties are okay with it, it shouldn't be any concern of ours for a number of reasons. Simply because we have to understand if these are adults and they're choosing to participate in adult behavior. Now, if you're going to participate in adult behavior, that's fine as long as both of you guys are on the same page.
Yes.
The only time it becomes a problem is when one party decide not to inform the other.
Yes.
No,
But
that's just
there's a
done
lot
wrong.
of that. There's a lot of that goes on.
Right, and we're not speaking to that because we know that's wrong. What we're speaking to is both parties being up on what the decisions are. Decision is between both of them. Them okay with it, right?
Yes.
That cool. All right. So that's settled that. Let's talk about childhood trauma.
Yes. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
One thing I think is very important for people to understand, right? Hurt people.
Oh, so true. So
You get me?
true. So true. I learned about that in like my mid to late 20s. That hurt people, and I never realized that before. I never knew, but once I learned that hurt people, I was like, oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So the reason why I said no, hurt people. Remember, I said sometimes we grew up in household with parents that unfortunately they themselves have been hurt. In certain retrospect, they are really doing the best they really can. Right. The unfortunate thing is what we don't realize is that their psychological trauma, their emotional trauma, their physical trauma, there are a number of trauma exists, right? But we are not whole black people. We don't believe in mental health.
Yes, so true.
Not until it's too late, right?
Yes.
Okay. What I would say honestly is this. A lot of people react to emotional hurt. Okay. That's the person's text down here say, can hurt people be cured? Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes. The reason why I say hurt people can be cured because it first begin with realization. Once you realize that there's something you're carrying that needs to be rectified, until you correct that within yourself, it will never be corrected. No one can correct your issue. You have to correct it on your own. So yes, you have.
What about the parents that they don't want to be cured? They think they're fine. They're good. They're perfect, and they've never done nothing wrong. When meanwhile they have, and they don't want to admit to it or come to terms with it.
That's a good question. You have a thing called
situation.
Well, you have a thing called ignorance, and then you have willful ignorance. So all of us have some degree of ignorance within us, right? Because ignorance really means, not to know, right? Lack of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
But willful ignorance is where you make a decision to say, boy, me not care. Even if I say, I don't want to hear that. Why? Because certain people have that same mentality, and that's the problem we are faced with, right? So with those individuals, unfortunately, there's no way to cure that. Count that out. Because you won't get through to those people because they literally have years of that mindset. And a person that has been conditioned to a mindset of that magnitude, it's not easy to change. Kids react to these emotional hurt, trauma in various ways. 1, disobedience. 2, selective mutism. In fact, this is one of the most misinterpreted diagnoses where people are now diagnosing it for autism, and it's not autism. Selective mutism actually has been linked where kids are literally found that they've experienced some level of trauma and they got mute. They don't have a voice. They don't speak. They just get quiet and stay to themselves because they think everyone is a threat. Right? So sometimes those type of behavior, once you can identify them, remember, it doesn't have to be a parent to help a child.
Yes.
That's why I always said, that if you're a parent, that's good. But to be a good parent, you must be willing to be a parent to those that are not yours.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
See what I'm saying?
You're gonna make me catch the Holy Ghost over here, and
okay. Easy,
Yes.
So as it relates to trauma, I really think that it really starts from parenting. But can't always blame the parent also. The reason why I say that is simple because sometimes our parents are really doing their best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, their best is just not good enough. But that's their best.
Yes.
I think we're faced with some degree of responsibility as we get older to seek clarity, okay? And also to seek some type of help. Help is definitely important, right?
Yeah.
But again, a lot of people stray from that because they don't want to get involved because it's stigmatizing. One of the biggest problems why people don't get help from professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists, mental health counseling, etc. It's simple because people nowadays, they don't do things that are morally right. We tend to gravitate to the things that are socially acceptable. You get me? So
Yeah.
it looks cool.
Yes.
And me, I do this. Me not do that because I'm not so me grew up.
Right.
When in fact, you've tried it over 100 years and it didn't work for you, but you're not willing to try a different way, right?
Right.
So it's that people gravitate to the things that are socially acceptable rather than the things that are morally right. Pride is also a big thing, right?
Yes, definitely.
That's a good point the
Yeah.
young lady made. So I honestly can say that, yes, there's a lot of hurt people out there, but we have to also understand behavior is not controlled by conscious output.
Mm-hmm.
You don't control behavior with your conscious mind. That's not where the behavior is controlled. Behavior is controlled where it is the unconscious part of you. For example, as a behavior, if you notice the repetition of certain things changes you as a person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
There are misconceptions about a lot of meaning out there. Yeah. The reason I say that is because people say, well, sure, me know certain things, me not do this, me not do that. We understand that. Right? Inspector, him say, yep, pride and ego. Well, we already know what ego means, so we need not to get involved in that. But that's a good point, Spec. But yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay.
But I guess the point that I'm trying to drive home is it is important, right, for everyone to understand that it doesn't just take a parent to literally change a child or to help a child. That's why back in the days, them say it take a village to raise one, right?
Yes,
Correct.
absolutely. We need
Yeah,
to
so
bring
I
that
really
back
do.
too, folks. We need to bring that back. We need to start raising our village around us for real. You know what I'm saying? Get to know the
Yeah,
children in your neighborhood. Be a mother, be a father to them. It's not gonna take nothing away from you. You could be
right.
helping that child or teenager or young adult. You could be helping them get through something that they never thought that they could get out of themselves.
Correct. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, but
That's okay. No, but you were getting deep. You must have went to Harvard.
no, I can't get credit to Harvard. I have to give it to Central Connecticut State University.
Are you a professional psychologist, psychiatrist? Do you deal with? Oh, we're gonna have to hit up preacher teacher for some mental health. Ooh.
so,
Okay.
but I'll let you guys get back to it. But again, I really honestly think that we live in a world where people don't care about others the way they are supposed to. Number one.
Oh God, I agree. I agree.
You have, like, for example, we talk about ADHD.
Mm.
That is actually that is a big thing for me. I have my kids and my sons. I mean, thank God they're smart children, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look upon trauma, I think black boys are significantly targeted as it relates to special ed population, right? And I say that because I'm going to get deep now, right?
Yes, because listen, I have
The
two
problem is
myself. I mean, they're
yes,
but still, they could very easily get categorized in that manner.
right. No, I absolutely agree. In fact, one of the most important things to pay attention to is your child and his ability to grasp certain information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very quick for a child to be labeled. You see, what a lot of people don't understand, a child that has ADHD. To me, ADHD really means ain't no daddy home disorder.
Mm.
You understand? Because remember, when a child is born, a child has a jug that needs to be filled.
Yes.
Yes. So you have half needs to be filled by mommy,
mm-hmm.
and half needs to be filled by daddy.
Yes.
We know that mommy provides maternal love and certain stability, right?
Yes.
But daddy bring discipline and stuff like that. The first thing I'm going to say, wait until your daddy come home, right?
Right.
Daddy provides structure. So unfortunately, 1 out of every 3 households, there's no father home.
Mm.
So no, crack and cocaine is illegal, right? I agree?
Crack and coke.
That's illegal, right? Yeah, crack and cocaine illegal, right?
Yes, it's illegal, absolutely. Okay.
So then explain to me, why is crack and cocaine being given to kids that has ADHD? Because scientifically speaking, the Ritalin, the Medidate, Concerta, all those medication, they are literally 1 molecule away from crack cocaine.
Oh, I'm glad you told me this, because I ain't going to put out a fight if somebody ever tries to say my child is ADHD, need to be on this, that, and the other. No.
But here's the problem though. Schools are not going to recommend for your child to be medicated. They won't do it, right? The problem that they have is that they'll give you a hint. And then sometimes we have greedy parents, right? She said, so hold up. What about structures, family, and have both parents where kids have ADHD? Well, truth be told, again, like I said, ADHD, truthfully, to me, it's ain't no daddy home disorder.
So maybe the
Because
father
if you
is
go
there,
back,
but he's not paying attention to the
there you
child.
go.
He's not doing his
Exactly
role as the
correct.
father. He's there in the
Exactly
home, but
correct.
he ain't doing his fatherly duties. So that creates
Exactly
that
correct.
absent presence.
Perfectly correct. One of the biggest problems we have is that you have to understand that a man has to play his role, right? Okay. If a man is home and a man is playing the role of a man, remember, all right, if we go back, when you and I were in school, you understand what I said? We realized, say, we didn't see special ed population was not big enough.
Yeah, even when I was in school, we didn't
No,
have nothing called
exactly.
special ed when I was in elementary.
Because here's the problem. Why would you want your child, even if your child has special ed, why would you want your child? Oh, I should say, well, disagree. I won't speak to that for all families. When you say, well, you won't speak for that for all families, explain. I'm curious, so I can address that point. Even if you have a child that has special ed, right? One of the biggest problems that I will always say, why would you want to label that child and put them in an environment where it's just consists of special ed students or special ed kids alone? In fact, to me, that's not a good idea. I would want that child to be in an environment where normal kids are operating and functioning at a normal place, right? Because then they see and get a better understanding as to what a normal behavior should be. That's an opportunity for them to, you know what I'm saying, to look forward to something to be better, right? She said, I'm sure there are families where mom and dad 100% present and kids genuinely have ADHD. Now, again, autism and ADHD. Now, what I want to know, okay, so explain to me, here's my question to you, young lady. Explain to me what scientific method is used to detect ADHD? Is there a blood test? Is there a CAT scan? Is there a PET scan? And if there's one, please let me know. Because ADHD or ADD is a matter of professional opinion. In fact, a psychologist that diagnoses a person with ADHD does not normally observe that child in the behavior from which the complaint comes. So how do you come up with that diagnosis? Let me know. Back to what I was saying, right? But no, you have a point, young lady. I understand what you're saying. But then if you can show me where there's a scientific method where ADHD is guaranteed to be detected when this test is conducted, you have my vote. Right? Because what you have to understand.
I'm learning right now. So, and I'm loving the exchange right now because I'm learning.
Thank you. So what I want you to also understand, and that's very important, 97% of all teachers in America, 97%, this was based on statistic 3 years ago, don't know about today, in America, are women. And of that 97% that were women, 94 to 95% were white females. I'm not saying that a white woman can't teach a black boy.
Right.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't play the race game. If racism exists, I get it out of there. But I'm not going to play the race card. No. But what I'm saying is that when you have a child that cannot conduct himself as a white female feel he should be able to conduct himself in a manner, then unfortunately he gets ostracized.
Ooh, that's
you understand what I'm saying?
I feel like
as
I've
Africans,
been through that with my oldest son and his teacher last school year. Wow. Now that you say that, like some flashbacks just hit.
and to the young lady's point, right? She said that if you belly that mental health exists, and then ADHD is real, right? Okay, I'm not saying ADHD is not real, but what I'm asking for is if you can please share with me what scientific method is used to detect ADHD, then we can have a conversation. That's my point. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist and it's not real. Yes, they are sometimes this and adverse development of the brain. We agree. Not disagreeing to that. Just like autism. Autism is number one that gets misdiagnosed a lot because they have either major ear infection is one that I've seen a study on. Selective mutism, we talk about that. Okay. And in fact, these people were diagnosed with autism when they were not really autistic. It was just these major dysfunction in the body that create that type of, right? You understand? Now, you also can't throw away the fact that you have some black folks or black parents out here that are money hungry. And if your child is literally diagnosed with any type of disability or, disabled with any type of mental illness, they get checked from the state, SSI. Okay, I mean, we can listen. This goes deep. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Just as a nurse in the healthcare field, psychology cases real. No. Again, so I'm not saying. I'm not saying psychological trauma. I'm not saying any type of psychological, any type of psychological disadvantagement is not real. I'm not saying that at all. That's not my premise. My premise is that, unfortunately, I feel like these tests and a lot of these are disproportionately. Okay, disproportionately targeted where cases where, it's not that someone is autistic. It's not that someone has ADHD. They just don't have no discipline in their freaking life. You have parents who literally help pay psychologists to have their kids tested just so they can say, well, they have ADHD because they have this kind of disability. No, I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm saying it is disproportionately pointed out where it doesn't need to be. I'm an advocate for, my people, African Americans, whatever the case may be, because I realize that there's no way a psychologist observe a child based on their behavior. They're trained to ask certain questions, look for certain behaviors, certain responses, and that's how they conclude their findings. Now, as a person that also is in the healthcare field, I too can share with you that I'm a factual person. Now, I'm not saying that's not real because, yes, obviously there are people out there that have true mental illness that needs help. Absolutely correct. Never, ever will disagree with that. My problem is what scientific method? Okay, hold on. Okay, she said it's not disproportionately diagnosed. White kids are more prone to taking meds. Black kids don't have access to meds. So, in fact, I want to say I absolutely disagree. And this is where we probably would say that's absolutely incorrect. Because a black boy that typically throw a temper tantrum, like when we were kids, how we used to beat on the desk in school and we'll rap and stuff like that, right? That would consider normal, right? That's just me being hyper, right? Of course. But when you think about a child being in school that literally doesn't exhibit certain behavior that is literally needed to be exhibited or they feel like is the norm, unfortunately, it is suggested for him to be tested. After testing comes what? Medication. After medication comes what? SSI, which is some type of support. Let me see what she said.
I am Sabina also said the meds trigger additional issues.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, as this young lady, she said she's a nurse. So then please let me know if you agree with me. The Ritalin, the Metadate, the Concerta, those type of medication, they are one molecule away from crack cocaine, is it not?
Aileen says then why do we have healthcare disparities in the Black community?
Okay, so to what extent? Because what you have to understand, like I said, there's a lot of greedy parents out there, and they will agree to have their kids medicated.
Just for the sake of getting
they will agree.
Just for the sake of
sometimes.
Getting that check.
Yes, I've seen that. I would never point out and say all families that, no, I would never do that. That's wrong of me. I would never do that. That's not my claim. My claim is it has happened. I've come across it, and it happens a lot. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying, again, I'm not back to the young lady. I'm not saying what you are pointing out is incorrect. I'm saying, unfortunately, it is disproportionately targeted, and it's not right. Because, again, I noticed you've answered me. Well, you've posed 1, 2, 3, about 4 questions so far, but I haven't seen you responded to the question I've asked. Scientifically, what method is used to detect ADHD? Is it a CAT scan? Is it blood work? Is it a PET scan? What method? Because the only method that I'm aware of, and being a professional, it is that based on the observation, behavior, and response of that individual, which 9 out of 10 times, they are not observed in the environment from which the complaint is coming. So then how we point it out. So again, going back to, initially what we're all targeting and talking about, it's again, obviously, yes, Okay, I thought she typed back. So I definitely understand your point, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, a child that struggle with certain things, unfortunately, it's not that the parent has the ability to help. Okay, because sometimes even in relationships, you may have relationship with other people out there,
Yeah.
and with all honesty and truthfulness, you may say, "Well, no, he just won't do this. I don't know why he won't do it." But in actuality, that person may really just not know how to do what you want him to do. But because of ego, as Spec said, ego plays a big part.
Definitely.
Because people unfortunately would put ego up before they tell you, you know what, I don't know, or I'm not sure. And we know that, to me, ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. So a lot of us are stupid. That's just facts.
Big time. Big time. Big time.
So I don't want to take over your program. I know you and Spec have a lot to talk about.
Well, thank you for coming on, and you're always welcome.
Anytime.
You guys are always welcome to request to jump on live real quick, give your feedback. We welcome that. We love that. So
appreciate it.
yes.
Well,
all right.
Thanks again.
Well, we got our Black Sigmund Freud here.
No. No. I appreciate the title, but you have a good one.
You take care.
Anytime.
Okay?
Respect. All right, you too. Cool. Yeah, man.
Hey, it's always good to hear everyone's feedback and what they're going through, and their experiences and all of those things. Ain't nothing wrong with some cross communication. All right, Specky, that got real deep there.
Yeah, that was great.
That went beyond making sense. That just made
great.
That was like being recreated all over again.
Yeah, it's facts. It's dope.
But so I think that wraps up childhood traumas.
Yeah, with the childhood trauma, start with trying to identify it. Start with the desire to want to figure out what's wrong, and then from there, try and figure it out. And
reach out to your parents. Reach out to your parents. Make amends if they don't. If they don't want to make amends with you because they just don't. You tried. The best thing that you can do is say you tried. I tried. I did my best. It didn't work out. You got to move on with your life. Because you know what? My thing is this too. Once a man, twice a child.
Facts. Yep.
Parents need their parents when they're small. And then when they become children again, at that last phase of their life, they need their children. So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Boom shakalaka.
Absolutely.
What's the song of the week? Man, last week's song of the week is The Bomb. Ooh, that thing was.
You like that.
That thing had me like. Ooh.
You like that.
Lenny Kravitz and St. John. Ooh.
You like that, huh?
That tune is
tingly, huh?
Oh yes, it had me feeling like I was Janet Jackson for real. Just I didn't have the braids. I didn't have the braids last week, but I still felt like some damn Janet Jackson.
I don't know. Is Sabina still in here? Is she still in here?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna see if I can invite her to dinner or something. Put the video on and pretty lights. You think maybe
All right, Sabina.
Maybe I can have something that we can make sense.
Okay, Sabina. You said he trying to see you, Sabina.
No, I'm just kidding. I think Sabi married. Sabi been married. I think maybe, I don't know.
You better be careful talking like that for a husband to come try to whoop your ass.
No, I'm just kidding. That's the homie.
I know. All right. So we got anything else before we wrap it up? Because it's getting late.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it.
All right. Y'all follow DJ Inspecta at DJ Inspecta. Give him a follow. He's a phenomenal DJ. He knows his history on music. He knows his good tunes. He knows what's black. He knows what's, He knows, okay? He knows. He
Been
knows.
around the block a little bit, just a little bit.
And y'all can always hit him up to DJ your next party or, you know,
Yeah,
wedding.
we can do it virtual. We got things in place. You want to have some fun? Just hit me. You know what I'm saying? We got virtual
Yes.
parties for you. We have venues for small crowds. You can set up your mansion parties, all that good stuff. You know?
Ooh, yes.
Link up.
I still need to start my process with my DJing lessons.
Yeah, man.
I had one DJ lesson and that was it.
For real, it's like boot
I gotta
camp.
really focus.
I don't play with it. It's like boot camp.
I know. I gotta really focus. But thank you everyone for tuning in. We were on for 2 segments tonight. It was a great conversation and it got really deep. It got real deep. Let me tell you, preacher, teacher, man, I need to hire him for a session. I need a good mental health session. You know, I've never seeked mental help. I think everyone should do it.
I encourage it.
Yeah. I think, hey Milton, what's up, Milton? I think it's good for everyone, whether you feel like you're 100% normal or not.
Yeah.
Go for it.
No, I definitely recommend it. It is very, 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 very important. And here's what you guys got to understand, okay? It is scientific facts, all right? The pain that you feel emotionally is the same pain. It is the same feeling and it does the same trauma as actual physical pain. Because the chemical that induces in your brain from it, it's the same chemical. So literally, like, when you emotionally feel like hurt and pain or whatever, it is the equivalent of getting your ass whooped.
Damn, I never thought of it like that.
You can go look that up. That's proven scientific facts right there.
So definitely getting
literally
your mental health.
Like literally, like if you arguing with somebody and like somebody said fuck you, and like you felt that fuck you within your soul, like it's literally the same and the equivalent of like if somebody like literally punched you in the face. Like, it's the same shit. So let that sink in with how you go about on your daily activities and how you let certain things affect you.
Definitely. Milton, yes, oh, for sure. Yeah, we're getting ready to close it up, but I definitely bring you on real quick, Milton. See what you're trying to make sense of. But
I'm out of here. Yeah, let me hop on. See what's up. Right. I'm out of here.
All right. Oh wait, what's the song of the week? What's the song of this week?
What are we doing for the song of the week? You know what? I mean, y'all should know it already, but high fashion.
Okay. Yes.
That's
by Roddy Ricch, right? Roddy Ricch.
Yeah. It was
Roddy Ricch, high fashion.
I really like this.
Does he really play the piano himself?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I saw him performing that song and he was on the piano. I was like, okay.
Well, if it was
that caught my attention. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Maybe he does. Right, let me know.
All right, so y'all heard it. Song of the week, Roddy Ricch, high fashion. Yeah. Julie no wrong. High fashion. No. G-Wagon. All right.
All right, y'all.
All right, Specky.
Be blessed. Take care.
Yes, next week. All right, Milton. Oh, now Milton's not even here. Milton Supreme, where you at? How you gonna ask to join in and then disappear? Let's see if I can bring him in real quick before I end my night. This was such a good conversation. I really hope that it reaches someone that, needs to hear it. needs to hear it, and it helps them out tremendously. I'm definitely going to look into, just checking in on my mental health every now and again. All right. I don't see Milton Supreme. I'll have to catch him next time around. He's a hilarious guy. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. You have a great night. And don't be afraid to, check in with your mental health. Don't be afraid. It's not going to make you any less. If anything, it will help, bring you to that next level and bring some calm, peace of mind, and understanding. Good night. We'll see you next week.